Hey you guys, it's Todd Lamb here with PureLife Organics. What I'm going to talk to you today is about macronutrients. I get asked this question all the time. What are they? So I'm going to briefly explain them to you, and at the end of the day, if you can manage your macronutrients, you can manage any nutritional program that you're doing, whether you're just eating to maintain your weight, or you want to lose weight, or you want to add some weight. If you understand the principles of macronutrients, you'll be effective at managing your weight. There are 3 macronutrients. Some people say there are 4, which I'll talk about at the end of this video, but most of us understand that there are 3 macronutrients. We have protein, we have carbohydrates, and we have fats. Proteins come in the form of red meat, chicken, eggs, fish, particularly when I've wrangled it all by myself. True story. You want to start with protein. The typical intake to maintain is about 0.5 of a gram per pound of body weight. That will fluctuate per individual. This is really interesting to understand. Beyond what you need to be effective at rebuilding cells, building muscle, bones, if you have an excess of protein, it converts to glucose through a process of gluconeogenesis. A lot of people just think, if I eat more protein, I'm going to build more muscle. That's not true. It's actually going to convert to sugar in your body. As we always maintain here, more is not always better. The right amount for the job is the right way to use your protein intake. From protein, we move to carbs. Who doesn't love carbohydrates? Bread. Vegetables are also carbohydrates. Fruits are also carbohydrates. Rice is carbohydrates. Pastas, those types of things are all carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are used and converted into your body into glucose. Glucose is stored in the liver. It's also stored in the muscles. Now, the 3rd macronutrient is fats. And we're talking about healthy fats. If you go into the store, have a look at the skim milk carton and compare the sugar to a full fat cream. You'll see the skim milk sugar values way up there. So we use healthy full fats. Things like MCT oil in particular. If you're moving to a low carb, a high fat diet, you want MCT oils in that diet. The reason being is they are utilized through a different pathway. They don't go through the normal absorption down through the gut. They actually go straight to the liver. And from there, they can be deployed as energy if you're not using glucose to fuel your system. MCT is critical for that. You want to use oils with a high smoke point, and we'll get a list of those for you guys. Butter, grass-fed butter is also a very good high fat. Nuts and nut butters are also a very good fat. Full fat cream, sour cream, cottage cheese, camembert cheese, fantastic sources of good full fats. The best way to understand or to manipulate these macronutrients to be effective in maintaining your weight is very simple. You start with building your protein and how much you're going to take. Remember, 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. Same goes for carbohydrates. 1 gram of carbohydrates is 4 calories. So if you're building a plan, say you only want to take in 800 calories of carbs per day, that means math. It means 200. It means 200 grams of carbohydrates in a day, which is actually quite high, depending on what you're doing. Now, if you're a high-level athlete, you probably take in 250, 300, 400 grams of carbohydrates a day. Fats. Fats are very dense. 9 calories per 1 gram of fats. It's not the same across all 3. Now, just a very easy thing to remember. If you're going to go higher carb, you want to go lower fat. And that's the relationship of insulin and the role it plays in your body. I'm not going to deep dive that right now. So you want to go high here, low here. If you're going high on fats, you're going low on carbs. Your base, that foundation that you're going to build from, is protein. The very last thing I want to talk about, our friend alcohol. Now, I've brought out a nice Glencadam 10. You might have your favorite red, you might have your favorite white. When you take alcohol or you ingest alcohol, particularly around a mealtime, Your body prioritizes that alcohol. It's burning that first before it starts to do any work here. Alcohol, for 1 gram of alcohol, 7 calories. From a meal prep standpoint, most of us are not prepping with booze in mind. At least I'm not anyways. We're looking at these 3 macronutrients. If you are asking your nutritionist, or if you're trying to plan for yourself and you're like, hey, I want a glass of red every night, just understand that your body's gonna burn this first before it burns any of this, and you're creating a completely different hormonal cascade. To conclude, protein, fats, carbs, those are your 3 primary macronutrients. Alcohol is a 4th, depending on what science you're following. Regardless, this is how you build a meal plan. When you understand these 3 things, you can be successful in anything that you do as it relates to nutrition. Thanks, guys. We'll see you again.